Northern shoveler, that's a duck species, feeding vortex. This is my Mason Field Notes Series number 11. The vortex video was taken at Mason Regional Park today in Irvine, Orange County, California. Here's a downloadable map showing the park, especially the western part with the lake, and I'll give you the URL for this, the address, in the show notes. So what is a vortex? A vortex, according to AI, is a mass of fluid, the lake is fluid, with a whirling or circular motion around an axis, creating a low-pressure area at the center that can draw objects toward it. These can be found in nature, like in tornadoes, whirlpools, and hurricanes, and shovelers, and are also created artificially, such as when draining a sink or stirring coffee. The northern shoveler population wintering at Mason Regional Park is presently over 24 ducks. They show an interesting cooperative turning behavior to form a vortex in the water. That brings up from the water column and lake sediments small food items which shovelers filter out of the water with their bill structures. I want to share this daily behavior with you, so if you go to Mason or to San Joaquin Wildlife and you see one of these things, you understand what's happening. I will show you 3 sequential videos where the ducks and their artificial vortex moves to a new area of the lake. Nearby San Joaquin Wildlife Sanctuary, it's probably about 1.5 miles from here or less, also has northern shovelers. I hear about the same number as we do. 7 years ago, Chuck Schussman filmed a larger shoveler-induced vortex there and filmed it. See his YouTube video, and I'll show you the address for that. So here we are. It's at 12:01, actually this morning, November 20th. They had formed a vortex next to the edge of the lake, had disbanded, and I reached for my camera and started to film. Now you'll see that they tried to reestablish the one, and also one right about there. You can see they're starting to do a little circle, but they are uncoordinated at this point. 3 minutes later, I turned on the camera again. Again, not much coordination going on. There's a circle for me, perhaps. And then if I scan over to the right, they haven't given up on this, but now look at them. They're all leaving. At least most of them are. And then we will see 2 minutes later what this area here looks like. There's starting to form a circle. You notice that a lot of them are going counterclockwise. I think they're going to change their mind about that. Some of them are still moving away. A lot of them are moving toward where the action is. And then at 12:05, you see that the vortex circle is forming. There's a certain amount of pushing involved. It almost looks like they hadn't quite made up their mind which direction they were going to do for the circle. And now most of them have agreed they're going to go circular, clockwise. Things can get very busy there. You see that northern shovelers have sexual dimorphism between the male and female. That means that their plumage is different. A very pretty bird, greenish head, burnt orange side, and that may dim during the winter. May actually go through a molt. Now look on the right. You can just barely see on the right that there was a circle that maybe they were giving up entirely on. And the more cohesive more cooperation they get, the faster they go. The ones on the outside that look like they were just wondering and just, looking at the inside of the circle, they are joining most of them. Fascinating behavior, cooperation of these birds. This is my 11th video on the natural history of Mason Regional Park, part of my Field Notes series. You can see the first 5 titles on this slide. And here's 5 more. The present topic is number 11. I'm planning that number 12 will be the foraging behavior of our American white pelicans. You might see me at the park doing photography. Do you know what those white pelicans are eating? You will if I can produce number 12. Number 10 I just produced and put on YouTube. It was about crows mobbing a great horned owl and also a red-tailed hawk at Mason. So you never know what you're going to see at Mason Regional Park. So this has been another of my JDW talks. I have YouTube talks on less than half on genealogy topics. I have well over 100 topics. Ellis Island immigration, and then more than half on natural history topics, virtual birding field trips, optics, California birds, and this Nature Note series. Also some unusual, perhaps, YouTubes of things that interest me. Perhaps you want to hear me sing. Well, maybe not. So when you go to Mason and see something of wildlife doing some interesting behavior, well, I might have covered it in this series.